All right, let's move on to Dr. Swift's community update.
Very good, thank you. Well, we're excited to turn over to March of 2022, and our students and staff are just doing a beautiful job teaching and learning in our schools, across our classrooms and across the district. Last night, we had the joy, some of us on this stage, of returning to historic Hill Auditorium for Orchestra, and it was, I want to say Orchestra night, but it was actually Orchestra day and night because the groups were there all day long. Students from Ann Arbor Open, A2 STEAM, Clegg, Forsyth, Huron, Pioneer, Scarlet, Skyline, Slauson, and Tappan all had the opportunity to perform yesterday through the day and evening. Family members were allowed to attend and also have the opportunity to watch via video if that was more comfortable for them. The amazing talent of our students and our teachers was on display. The event is just a wonderful way for middle schoolers to connect with and learn from high schoolers in orchestra. And in fact, one of the teachers, Abby Alwyn, shared how she was a part of Orchestra Night back in 1986, and it inspired actually her career to continue. Noted American composer Kenji Bunch participated yesterday with Pioneer in a clinic with Pioneer's Symphony Orchestra performing his piece Super Maximum. Forsyth Middle School performed a piece called The Enchanted Forest by Adrian Gordon, who they will be working with later in a clinic later this spring. Orchestra Day is always a great day in the Ann Arbor Public Schools, and yesterday it was a special treat to be back with our children and see them perform so beautifully. I wanted to share a little bit of that with you all trustees who weren't able to be present, and also with our community. I know that a video will be posted because of copyright reasons, only be up for a few days, but just watch for that and we'll push that out very quickly. I know they're producing it, I think, as we speak. Mr. Cluley put together this set of highlights for us.
Wonderful to be back in Hill Auditorium. Hill Auditorium is a historic venue that people around the world come by and they love to play here, and we love to be here. It's right in our backyard, and it feels really intimate on stage. The musicians connect with the crowd, and it's a really, really special feeling.
Having some Pioneer alumni join us too, it just made a huge family atmosphere to bring us all together again, and it was a beautiful, beautiful occasion. So just so excited for the kids to be able to perform for a live audience.
Really, the magic comes from having the other orchestras watch you and get to share what you've been working on in such a fantastic space. And so I think all the orchestras kind of came alive in a way that doesn't happen in rehearsals or even during performances at their schools.
Walked in and they were like, this is intimidating, this is fantastic. So great for that. Something to keep in mind, our 5th grade students, our 7th grade students were 5th graders 2 years ago. They've never had a concert like this before.
good. Thank you. Thank you to Joe Mathis and Mr. Andrew Cluley who put that together for us. I look forward to seeing the full reel. I wanted to share this evening 719 days since our schools closed on March 13th of 2020. And we wanted to bring forward, we were privileged to get to share with the Finance Committee, and they helped us to pull some components together. We wanted to share a little bit about both feedback that we've received from our community over our most recent request to hear from folks. And then we also wanted to show you where we put together that feedback and then also the work that we're doing as a result of our response to COVID and hearing from our community. Mr. Cluley is going to bring up, trustees, this is a kind of a newly organized part of the website. Here on the website, AAPS COVID response. It's going to hold a lot of work and a lot of components that we've been busy doing and working on for 719 days. Our community involvement, it's the second one there. Let's open that one, trustees. If you want to take a look here, you can see that we've organized the surveys, and after the presentation this evening, that December-January survey will pop right to the top so that folks can access that easily. And then below that are all of our community forums, and those are the full YouTube videos that are posted on our AAPS YouTube video channel. But all of our community meetings from the previous this previous time. And then if you keep going down there, trustees, all of our public commentary is logged as another artifact of just hearing from our community during this time. That total does not include this evening, but 1,581 public comments, and those are all logged in board docs so that anyone can see them or access them. So we really have appreciated, always appreciate, that our community is highly engaged and gives us good, solid feedback. If you'll back up one there, I just want to show this and then we'll jump in to the actual survey report. This is an overview of the work. We'll talk more about this in just a little bit. You do have the document attached on board docs, trustees. And then the third area of this part of the website will be all of those applications and the expense reports and all of the state documents. Now, they're not there yet. As you know, the state is moving through this process, how shall we say, methodically. So what is there is our American Rescue Plan 2021 document. But over the coming weeks and months, this will continue to be populated so that folks will have every application, every expense report, everything that we're turning in there. Very good. So if we can take a look at our survey from December, January, it was our most recent request of our community. You would think at that time of year, folks may be busy, and folks are always busy, but I really appreciate the help from our community, and you can see this participation was really very strong. Here's the question that we asked, trustees, you'll recall, based on your experience and perspective, up till now, that was December of 2021, January of 2022, what do you feel are the most important needs and priorities as we serve and support our students and allocate our resources? So you can see on the next slide that approximately 3,300, a little more than 3,300 folks participated, contributing about the same number of thoughts. And those thoughts were rated with almost 76,000 star ratings. So that's just a sign, kind of like a like on social media, that lets us know which of the thoughts have the most energy or the most support behind them. You can see that across that slide's a little harder to see, trustees. I know many of you have it up on your laptops, but you can see that across the groups, students, staff, parents, full participation across the groups, widespread participation. And then you can also see participation across the levels. So those folks engaged mostly at elementary or at middle or at high school. Some folks have students at all three levels, and so they're in that category. And then over on the right, this was very important to us to ensure that voices are heard. So you can see there those students, English language learners, homeless students, free and reduced lunch, eligible foster care, and on down the list, migrant, poverty, and students with special learning needs served on an IEP. All good, widespread representation among these participants. Here's what the priorities are that our community shared with us. 68% of respondents went to that priority which matters most in a district, and that is our people, attracting, hiring, and retaining high quality professional and support staff. I really appreciate that our community understands, and we certainly understand, the importance of high quality staff in every building. A high quality teacher makes all the difference for a child, and I'm glad that that came through on this community input. Mental health supports and services, and that attached a little bit lower with social emotional learning. Academic supports, 49% noted that. And then you can see COVID mitigation, and then something the board is very aware of, we've talked about it a lot, our extended day before and after school programming, very important and mentioned by 29% of those 3,300 respondents. So you can see, trustees, exactly what our community has said. As we look down to the next slide, you can see here are the themes by star score. So that staff one slightly higher, but all of them very strong by the number of stars they received. And then on the next slide is those by the number of thoughts that were actually written on that topic. And you can see in that look that quality staff is really the overarching theme. And we know, as you know, trustees, that quality staff affects all the other areas as well. So it's all connected. Very good. Here's some sample thoughts, and we don't need to go through those, but they're there for the community to see. We put in this presentation those that were at 4 or above on their stars, so you can see how we selected. These were the top thoughts in each of the key areas. So that one around staff, and then around academics, parents and families. This is our before and after care was the highest and most often starred thought. Social emotional learning and mental health. And then health and safety, our COVID mitigation. And noted here that one of the top thoughts as well, trustees, you'll see, is that around gun safety. So again, the priorities, our community has spoken clearly to us. I appreciate the clarity in this feedback. All of this will be posted there on the website where we showed the location. And then trustees, you'll see as we move over to the document around our COVID work that these things have fallen into 4 areas that our work has taken shape in. And trustees, you know, literally everything we've been focused on since March 13th of 2020 has really fallen into these 4 areas. A continuity of learning, growth and development academically, working to keep our students and our staff well and healthy socially and mentally, quality professional staff, and then our COVID mitigation in classrooms and schools and activities. Our team will bring up that document if you would like, but it is attached to the agenda. So feel free, trustees, to pop that open. It's called COVID Response Work. 4 areas that we've focused our COVID response work in. This has been our work. This mirrors the feedback that our community has shared with us, and it also will be seen in the expenditure of our ESSER dollars. So it will really resonate across those 3 areas. With student learning and academic progress, we're looking at Tier 1 instruction. We're looking at intervention, gap closing, and enrichment support so that students have a quality academic experience. With student well-being, health and wellness activities, that does have to do with staff and trustees. We've talked a lot about particular positions that we want to look at adding just to give our students more mental health and wellness support. The 3rd area, COVID mitigation. Trustees, you recall very well the additional nurses we added, our COVID response team that has served us all this time, and our improvement of ventilation across our buildings. We could go down a long list there. Finally, our quality staff. We have a lot more work to do in this area, but we have realigned the hourly rates for many of our hourly positions throughout this past 2 years. We have worked on retention efforts, on enhancements for hard to fill positions, and we also, with the board's kind support, were able to give a 2% in the fall. That was an important enhancement. Not enough, we know, but an important enhancement. So really just wanting to share this evening the collaboration and really the parallel processes between the work that we've done and the expenditures that we've made and what our community has asked us for. I wanted to address the student and family activities and the volunteers in our school. We've heard a lot from public commentary, and as I've shared over the previous 2 Fridays in the superintendent update, we are opening our schools for activities, and principals are doing that step by step. So if you have not yet been able to hear or see that in your school, just reach to your principal and you will hear directly from your principal. We believe in parent engagement and support. It's an enduring tradition, and really we are just a model in Arbor is of leveraging beautiful parent and community engagement in our schools, and we're excited to make those opening steps. So as cases continue to decline, the principals and their teams are extending activities and opportunities. I just checked in with my team a little earlier during public commentary, and we are seeing Science Olympiad teams registering to work in our schools. And I do want to point out that we've supported over the years, and we do have active Science Olympiad teams in every school, and every school will have themselves open for after-school activities. The priority in this process is to open opportunities and enrichment for our students during the day and after school. And trustees, you're aware, we want to monitor those case levels as we open more fully. And our school leaders are also receiving requests for volunteers. They are conducting tours with parents, prospective parents, and parent volunteers, particularly in the area of teaching and learning and community building. We are moving forward step by step. Parents will hear detailed information directly from their school principal, and feel free to reach out. But we're excited to be at this point where this exciting activity can be restored. Trustees, I just wanted to note, day before yesterday was the last day of February, and we finished February above 90% attendance throughout the month, even with the Omicron surge still going and with winter weather. So I'm very grateful for the priority that our parents and our students and our staff place on teaching and learning in this community. Rec and Ed has registration open for spring sports. So sign up now for kid-friendly soccer, field hockey, and flag football leagues. You can just go right on a2schools.org, Rec and Ed, and get all of that taken care of there. I do want to share the statement that we shared last Friday evening in the superintendent's update. Rec and Ed is committed to provide safe and inclusive recreational sports opportunities to all youth, regardless of race, ethnicity, socioeconomic status, national origin, sex, sexual orientation, gender identity, or gender expression. Youth may register using a variety of gender terms, including non-binary, and are welcome to select whichever sports and leagues they prefer. We often put into our Friday update how it is that folks should reach out if they have a concern in the Ann Arbor Public Schools, and we will continue to run that every other week or so, so that folks are reminded and have that in the front of their minds. If folks should have a concern in the Ann Arbor Public Schools, we want to hear directly from you so that we can address the issue. We ask that you reach first to an adult teacher, counselor, or principal at your local school. However, if you need assistance beyond the school level, we do have our elementary director, Matt Hilton, our K-8 and middle school director, Dr. Roberta Hayward, and our high school director, Mr. Paul DeAngelis. So we will have this in our Friday update, and we'll run that on a regular basis because we want to address things early rather than late, and to do the problem solving that is sometimes needed in and around our schools. As usual, our spring assessments are coming up in April, May. This is a little bit different year because we are back to the mandated and required assessments that the district must give. Parents who have questions about spring assessments can reach directly to their child's principal, and as we get farther into March, we will share more specific information that will be communicated from our teachers and principals during March. Finally, we heard a lot about masking in the Ann Arbor Public Schools. We are delighted to see cases decline and the number of COVID cases declining among our students and staff and across our community. We are very much aware of the recent adjustments to guidance from the CDC, the MDHHS, and today, trustees, I haven't even had time to share with you, just today we received updated guidance from Washtenaw County Health Department, particularly guidance for staff working in special education classrooms with medically fragile or vulnerable students, as well as direction on appropriate steps to take during a rise in cases, outbreaks, or other specific situations. So we will continue to closely monitor our case levels in the Ann Arbor Public Schools. We are looking to see a sustained and continued decline in the numbers, and we will take a balanced and cautious approach as we believe the masking strategy has served as a layer of support throughout this school year, and it helps us to prioritize our shared goal of sustaining in-school learning for students, staff, and families. At this time, we are going to continue with universal masking in the Ann Arbor Public Schools, and we promise we will continue to update information for our students, our staff, our parents, and our families on this topic as we move through March. We are taking this one step at a time because we are called to prioritize the health and safety of our students and staff and community. Trustees, we're here at Forsyth Middle School tonight, and we're here on March 2nd. We are making progress together. It is not to say that our challenges have dissipated. In fact, on many days, our challenges are bigger than they've ever been, but we are making progress together in support of our students and their quality learning and growth in the district. I'm so grateful for the support of these trustees, this Board of Education, of our parents, of our students, and our staff. We are stronger as we work together, and I appreciate the support of everyone in these Ann Arbor Public Schools. That is my superintendent's report, and I appreciate your patience for the length of it this evening.
Thank you, Dr. Swift.